To some degree, everything is in relationship. Everything is related to everything else. We are all in relationship to one another. But when we are talking about personal relationships, it becomes a matter of proximity. We are talking about close relationships. And there's a reason that we measure the quality of our relationships in distance. We define our best relationships as our closest relationships. But even with close relationships, even very, very close relationships, that still implies that there is distance there. It's just that in some relationships, that distance is greater, or there is more room between, and in others, there is less room. And it's almost seen that that closeness is out of our hands, when in fact, we are the ones that create the space. You are the one creating distance between yourself and others. And this distance is created or comprised of how vulnerable and open we are willing to be. The more open we are willing to be, the less distance exists. And the less open we are willing to be, the more distance exists. The reason that you exist in different proximity to different people is because you feel like you can be more open with them. You feel safe enough to show them more of you, to be more authentic and less deceptive. Even if we really, really love somebody, we may still maintain distance. Maybe we believe that it's a protection mechanism. It's better for the other person to not know us as well. So we hide these parts of ourselves that we don't like, the parts of ourselves that we judge. And so we keep people at arm's length so that they don't get close to these parts of ourselves, so that they don't see or get inflicted by the things that we don't like. Maybe we think that we're a bad person, or that we're secretly horrible, or that we're selfish or nasty or cruel, all these judgments that we make of ourselves, and we go, well, I'm going to keep that away from you. I like you, or I love you, so I'm going to hide all of that ugliness away from you. And we also do it because we are afraid that people will not love us if they see it, if they see what lurks in the shadows. If they get close enough, then maybe they really won't like us. So we manufacture identity and relationship so that we can have relationship on our terms. You are going to know me only as much as I want you to know me. Or you are only going to know the things about me that I want you to know. But you can take any relationship, any at all, friends, family, lovers, whatever it is, and you can measure the quality of that relationship by how open, honest, and authentic you are. If you are not those things, then the relationship is an illusion, or it is at least based on an illusion. You are presenting an image of what you believe that they want to see, and you are limiting yourself into a capacity that you believe is digestible for others. If you were completely authentic, if you said everything you thought, let out every dirty little secret and thought, and everything about yourself was just exposed, the people that remained after that, you would go, well, they really must love me because they know everything. They've seen it all and they still love me. They're still here. And even knowing this, even knowing that to truly liberate yourself and find out who is authentic, who is not, who truly loves you, we don't do it. And we don't do it because we don't believe that we are lovable, that all of us as a whole is lovable, that there are things that are unacceptable about ourselves, or there are things that if people knew, they would hate us. And we have this horrible monster in the closet situation where we think that if people could truly see us, then they would be disgusted. Then nobody would want anything to do with us. But because it's so personal, and because honesty is in such short supply, we all believe this about ourselves. We all think that we're just so uniquely horrible that nobody could ever love us. But we're all thinking that about each other. Unless you have done serious work to truly accept those parts of yourselves, you are always going to be projecting that image. You are always going to have walls. You are always going to keep people at arm's length. So if you truly are craving real relationship, which, let's face it, we all are. We all want closeness. We all want intimacy. We all want love. And if you know that you have things that you are unwilling to share with people, that you cannot accept about yourself, you cannot move forward until you have accepted that. Until you have made peace with who you are, until you love all of you, you cannot progress into having deep relationship, because you will always be in a relationship that contains deceit. It will always contain a lack of openness. If you can't speak freely, if you can't say what you feel, if you can't express what you really think, even if it's going to upset the other person, even if it's going to anger the other person, even if you think that they will hate you for saying it, if you can't say it, you don't have real relationship. It doesn't exist. It's a farce. It's a relationship with a bunch of conditional beliefs based on things that are not true. And this is the state of a majority of relationships, that they exist on a superficial plane, that they aren't real, they're just accepted and agreed by both parties. But true, unfiltered, open, honest communication is the prerequisite to a relationship flourishing. Otherwise, your relationships will always be limited. They are limited by the depth and openness of which you are willing to give them. And openness is the key, because you can be honest, meaning that you don't lie, you don't intentionally say something that isn't true, but you cannot be open. You can be completely closed and honest. Whereas openness requires volunteering information, surrendering information, surrendering your walls, letting down the guard. Otherwise, you can say, well, I'm completely honest, but that just means that I don't lie directly to you. I just don't tell you what I think. I don't tell you what I believe. I don't share with you my real thoughts, feelings, and opinions. I hide them. I mask them. So there is still deception, even with honesty, if openness isn't there. And you can zoom out and apply this not only to interpersonal relationships, but your presence in the world. If you are closed off from the world, if you hide who you are, if you hide the things that you like and who you really are and what you really think and what your beliefs are, if you shy away from showing that to the world will also exist at an arm's length. In order for you to live in close relationship with the world, you also have to be open with the world. And the thing is, in order to be open, people require a sense of safety. So for you to be open with somebody else, typically you will want to make sure that this person is going to receive the information or the truth about you and be happy about it, or be favorable, or be kind at least. The reason we don't is because we expect an adverse reaction. We expect people to think, you're terrible, or shout us, or hit us, or whatever. Some degree of negative reaction, whether that's separation, whether it's violence, whether it's just feelings that change and that a relationship corroding and burning down over time because they've learned that you are somebody different to who you were previously portraying yourself to be. So maybe it's just the deception itself, that somebody got into a relationship with you believing that you were a specific kind of person, and now you're telling them you are someone different, and they don't like that. And this is why your safety cannot be in other people or the reaction. It can't be in, I know what the world is going to react to who I am. I know what the person is going to react to who I communicate myself to be. If I'm open, I want the world to know that I am good or to receive it favorably. If I knew that everyone was going to love me as soon as I told them all of the things about myself, then of course you would be open. But the reason you aren't is because you think that there is this negative reaction coming up from it that maybe you did in the past. In little bits, you showed people bits of yourself and they got shut down. Or people told you that you were ridiculous or made fun of you, or you got bullied or something. Something taught you that what you truly are is unacceptable, that it's not good enough. So the safety cannot lie in the third party, in the external. The safety comes from knowing that you love you, that you accept you, that no matter anyone's opinion, the whole world could tell you that you are wrong, that you are terrible, but you would know that you love you. And if nobody can take that away from you, and nobody can truly give it to you, because it's yours. You're not looking for approval. You have your own approval. You don't need somebody else's. You don't need everyone else's. All you need is your own. You need to know that what you are doing and who you are, and stand by that person. Stand by who you are. And the funny thing is, when you do this, you will see that a lot of these things that you believed about yourself, that you told yourself, or that you secretly hid from everyone, that it actually doesn't stand up in the light. As soon as the light shined upon it, you realise that you're actually nothing like that. You just had fears that you were like that, or you'd had thoughts that you were like that. And just because you'd had bad thoughts, you thought you were terrible. You thought you were secretly nasty. And it's not a case that you are actually nasty. It's just a case that you have demonized parts of yourself to such an extent that you have manifested this subsection of yourself. You've given them an identity that is separate from your own. And you think that it's real because it's had such a control over you that it must be real, but it isn't. It is your own creation. It is this idea of judgment, that you have judged parts of yourself. You've judged your thoughts and feelings and actions and everything you've ever done, and you've sat there your whole life judging yourself, and you have created this monster that you don't like, this monster that you think other people won't like. And by feeding this monster, by doing negative self-talk, or by concealing stuff, by being dishonest, this is all feeding this monster. And over time, you may feel like you have fed it so much that that is all that exists, or that it's so bad that you can't possibly warrant exposing it, that it becomes such a deeply entrenched fear that it is impossible to change. But it's not. It may be that it is incredibly difficult. It may be that it is your worst fear, and it very likely is. And nothing is to say that you can't confront this fear, no matter how terrifying it feels, no matter how awful it feels, and the thought of doing it, of losing everything, of confronting that. Nothing is worse than living with it for the rest of your life, because that thing that you're expecting to change, or you wanting all of this stuff in your life and it's not happening, or you're not quite where you want to be, or you feel like you've got this hole that's never quite satisfied, or you're depressed, it will never go away until you do this. It is perfectly changeable, but you have to do this. It is a requirement. And as much as you don't want to do this, you must do this. Otherwise, it won't change. You will always feel inadequate. You will always feel like you're not enough. You will never really have true relationship. And that thought should be terrifying, because it should scare you enough to know that you need to do something about it. And you don't have to do it all at once. You don't have to have this radical change and start telling everyone everything about yourself, but gradually. Work on being more open. Work on being as much of you as you can possibly be. Showing people those things that you feel are uncomfortable. Revealing parts of yourself. And not everyone is going to love you. Not everyone's going to like it. And you have to be okay with that. Because it is fundamentally true. And You can look anywhere at anyone. They could be the most celebrated, most loved person in the world, and they will still have an equal measure of people that don't like them, that dislike them, that are jealous of them, that hate them, that have really strong feelings, that think they're the worst person in existence. You cannot escape that. So don't try. All you need to do is show up authentically, and the people that respond positively to that, the people that like that, you'll know they're your people. The people that don't like it, the people that don't agree with you or don't want to be near you, don't like who you are, don't like what you represent, they're not your people. And that's okay. Most people are blocked by the thought that nobody will like them. And the reason why they believe nobody will like them, nobody could possibly like them, is because you don't like you. And if you don't like you, why would you think that anyone else would? Why do you think anyone else could? So the confidence is built from within. The more you accept and love yourself, the more you will able to be open, the more you will develop relationship, the more you will be authentic and show up in the world and find people that truly value who you are. And the more you feel loved, the more you will open up. And it is an ascending spiral. It gets better and better and better, and it just snowballs on from there. But you have to start, and you have to make a conscionable effort to be more open. And that means facing fears, being vulnerable, doing things that are terrifying, showing people parts of yourself that you don't want to show, that you don't feel ready to show, that you don't think you can show people. But until you accept that, until you love that part of yourself, and that doesn't mean that you have to agree with it or think that it's the right, there may be times that you're a bit of an arsehole and you think, well, that's not right. And it's not right to be an arsehole, but you should still love and appreciate that part of yourself that is angry. To love something, you don't have to agree with all of it. You don't have to accept all of it. It's just love. You care about that. You realize that you're acting out of hurt or pain, and you love yourself and you want to take care of yourself. It may not be something that you're necessarily proud of, but it can just be something that you accept about yourself, that you love, that you accept that you're human and you're flawed and that you have patterns and habits that you don't necessarily agree or like. But if you can accept them and then begin to share them and share your acceptance with those and tell people, this is how I feel, this is what I think, and I don't necessarily love that about myself, but I'm trying to. And even just that bit of openness will metastasize into something great. People will respect the honesty. People will be drawn to the authenticity. So just be yourself. I'm telling you, just be yourself. I promise you, you are not as bad as you think you are. You are not as unlovable as you think you are. You are very much lovable. You are very much enough. You just need to tell yourself that and get yourself to believe it. And once you start and you start trying and you start putting yourself out there, you will realize that there may be many, many people that don't like you, but there will be people that do. It could be that majority of people aren't your people, and that's okay. I'm willing to bet if that's the case that most people aren't your people either, that you don't like most people, and that you don't feel like you align or vibe with most people. And that's okay too. But just be you. Thank you for listening.